Good day, sir. We are Group 14. I'm Wan Zing.
I am Liao Yixuan.
I'm Tan Jianing.
Today, we are going to present our article. The title is Graham Mansfield Field Suicide Peculiar Call for Law Change. Let's start with a video about this article detail.
Mansfield, the doctor said I have lung cancer and it had reached stage 4. I feel so pain. I want to die. I don't want to live in pain.
My euthanasia is not legal in our country. We can go to hospital.
Never mind, Mansfield. Just kill me when the condition gets worse.
If I kill you, I will end my life too. I want us to be together, even if we die.
Okay.
Fiona, I will complete your wish to live, and I will keep our promise. My love, you don't have to live in pain anymore. You will live. I'm ready to come be with you.
Mr. Mansfield, the court has reached a verdict, and you have been convicted of murder and manslaughter.
No, I don't think I committed a crime of manslaughter. My action is undertaken through a duress of circumstances. I have promised my wife to help her relieve from pain when everything gone worse. Euthanasia law should be changed. The sooner that happens, the better this country will be.
We have decided some perspective is related to the article which have culture, religion, law, human rights, love, and hope perspective. First is the cultural and religion perspective. Cultural perspectives toward euthanasia vary significantly across country and shape of a range of factors. In many Western cultures, there is a growing acceptance of euthanasia, driven by value of individual freedom and human rights. These societies emphasize individual choice and relief from suffering, and considering euthanasia as a compassionate option for determinal, deter, terminally ill individual. On the other hand, Eastern culture tends to have more conservative values, emphasize the sanctity of life, and observe more moral principle. This all leading to lower acceptance of euthanasia in Eastern culture. This cultural perspective have contributed to the debate over euthanasia legalization. From a religion perspective, every religion holds the same viewpoint on euthanasia. Many religions generally disagree it due to their emphasis on the sanctity of life. In Islam, euthanasia tend to disagree as the Quran emphasizes the sacredness of the life and the belief that Allah determines the length of one's life. Similarly, Buddhists discourage euthanasia as its goal against the principle of doing no harms and the belief in the consequences of intentional actions. The concept of cause and effect, which is called karma, play a role in viewing euthanasia as having negative retribution. While Christianity also disagree with euthanasia, Christians view human lives as a gift from God and regarding it as a violation of the commandment, thou shalt not kill in the Ten Commandments. These religious perspectives prioritize the preservation of life and uphold the teaching and principle of each respective faith.
Now I'm going to talk about the legal considerations and human rights. From a legal perspective, it is important to note that taking someone's life, even in the context of their explicit request, is generally considered a criminal act. In many jurisdictions, including the UK, euthanasia and assisted suicide are prohibited under the law. In the given situations, Mr. Mansfield's actions of intentionally causing the death of his wife would be regarded as murder. Although his wife expressed a desire for euthanasia, it does not change the legal implications of his actions. The court's decision to impose a 2-year prison sentence with a 2-year suspension is based on the specific circumstances and factors presented during the trial. From a human rights perspective, individuals should have the autonomy to make decisions about their own deaths. While the European Conventions on Human Rights (ECHR) recognizes the right to live, it also acknowledges that personal autonomy is an important aspect of human rights. In the case of Mr. Mansfield, his wife had expressed her desire to end her life due to her severe illness, and Mr. Mansfield, out of love and under duress of circumstances, fulfilled her request. It is argued that his actions were not that of a murderer, but rather an act of euthanasia done to avoid further suffering. The illegality of euthanasia in the UK and the COVID-19 pandemic prevented them from pursuing other options, leading to this situation. Individuals have fundamental rights, including the right to make decisions about their own lives. It also acknowledged that there should be exceptions to the general prohibitions on ending life at will, especially for terminally ill patients who face unbearable pain on a daily basis. Euthanasia is seen as a way to offer these individuals a more dignified and ethical option to face death. It is argued that voluntary euthanasia, when not harmful to others, should be considered a morally acceptable choice that respects an individual's autonomy.
Now I will be talking about the love and hope perspective. The article discusses the perspective of love, focusing on the difference between Western and also Asian culture. Love is described as a complex relationship that is difficult to define. Westerners view love as romantic, emphasizing intense feelings, passion, and personal happiness. They express love openly and ritualistically, often through gestures like kissing. In contrast, Asians tend to be more close-minded and practical in their approach to love. They will consider factors such as family background, social status, and financial status before entering into a relationship. Asian cultures value family harmony and may prioritize parental affection over romantic love. The article then mentioned an individual named Graham Mansfield who was influenced by Western ideas of love and took extreme actions to demonstrate his love for his wife, ultimately leading to tragic consequences. This article discussed the importance of hope in human life and how it is perceived in Western culture. The quotes by Billy Graham, who emphasized the significance of hope and describes it as a fundamental need in the world. In Western society, hope is defined as both a desire and an expectation for the future. It is seen as a way to break free from negative past experience and the influence of the present. Westerners attribute their hope to their belief in God and their trust that God will guide them towards their desires. This action of Graham Mansfield, who killed his wife, it suggests that his actions were based on the hope that have believed in God's will. Next, I will talk about theory. This article explores the ethical theory of utilitarianism and virtue ethics in relation to euthanasia. Utilitarianism or consequentialism ideas focus on the consequences of an action, seeking to maximize overall happiness and minimize pain. In the case of the article, Mr. Mansfield, who killed his wife to relieve her from incurable diseases and unbearable suffering. Utilitarianism argues that this action increases happiness by reducing suffering for both individuals. By considering the potential positive consequences for the family, utilitarianism supports that the idea legalizing euthanasia can increase overall happiness and reduce burdens. On the other hand, virtues emphasize character and moral virtues. From a virtue ethics theory, qualities such as compassion, empathy, and wisdom are relevant in the decision regarding euthanasia. If euthanasia is performed with empathy, compassion, and self-judgment, it may be seen as a morally righteous response to alleviate a patient's suffering. Therefore, euthanasia can be justified as an act of kindness, consideration, and respect.
Next, we'll move to the part of our opinion. After we discussed it, all of us disagree with Mr. Mansfield's actions. We think that Mr. Mansfield's decision to take the life of his wife is against the law. We believe that intentionally causing someone death, even in case of extreme suffering, goes against our moral and ethical principle. Although his wife expressed a desire for euthanasia, it does not change the legal implication of his action.
However, we agree that euthanasia should be legalized in the country. It is important to differentiate between individual actions and broader policy considerations. Legalizations can be followed by strict regulations to ensure responsible and ethical euthanasia practice. Like Colombia, euthanasia should be under doctor's supervision. In Netherlands, the patients must be suffering unbearable pain, their illness must be incurable, and the demand must be met in full consciousness by the patients. By legalizing euthanasia, we can respect individuals' autonomy and their right to make decisions about their own lives, particularly in the face of unbearable suffering or terminal illness. Euthanasia also provides an opportunity to promote a more compassionate and dignified approach to end-of-life choices. Therefore, we support the legalization of euthanasia to offer individuals the option of a compassionate and regulated choice at the end of their lives.
Now it's time for conclusion. Overall, the legality of euthanasia is a complex and controversial issue that raises important ethical, legal, and social questions. Different countries and jurisdictions have taken different approach to the issue, and there are valid arguments on both sides. That's all of our presentation. Thank you.